Hey there, boys and girls of the YouTube world. Today the Duff Dog and I are going to take a look at this 1978 Ford Crew Cab ramp truck that we just picked up. Okay, I might have lied. We've had it sit in the yard for like a month and a half. Maybe 2 months, maybe 3. Anyway, let's cut back to when we went and picked this thing up. So anyway, we're home. Like I said, this is a 1978 Ford F350 Crew Cab, dually, long box, 460 automatic. You'll see it's got square headlights. I don't know if somebody swapped the front clip. Apparently some 78s had square headlights depending on the trim package, maybe like the Ranger XLTs. I don't know. I'm not an expert on these things, but it seems like the square headlights bring a lot more dollar bills, y'all. Dollar bills, y'all! Plus it's a crew cab, plus it's a ramp truck, and it's resale red. So we had to drag it home. The gentleman, I don't even know, he probably doesn't want to be called a gentleman. One of my buddies that found this thing, he said that the guy had it running for him, but I was too busy looking at garbage out back. He says it just needs gas in the fuel tank and probably a battery. We winched it on the trailer, but while I was out looking at all the other amazingness that was there, they had it running. I don't know why they wouldn't get it running for the guy who was about to buy it, but anyway, because they knew I'm a sucker and I would buy it. So anywho, without further ado, let's do a quick walk around. Or better yet, let's just jump right into it just for Wes and just throw a battery in it. Should we see what happens, Duff? Oh man, you got a wood tick right on your nose? Come here, come here. No, your nose. It's not the top of your nose. No, it's not a wood tick. It is wood tick season though. Oh, I'll give you some belly rubs. Give her some belly rubs, yeah. All right, we got work to do. So this thing was on the road not too long ago, so it shouldn't take much. So we brought our battery. IB4 in Alabama is our battery sponsor this week. You can be a battery sponsor by going on mortskerepair.com and selecting the battery sponsor option. We got a lock and pliers, a couple screwdrivers, some hot sauce, some gas, because that's all it needs, you know, ran when parked, and an air tank. But I don't think the tires need air. It's got aluminum wheels. I'm pretty excited about that. Duff, you want to open that hood for me? That'd be great. You, sir, are a gentleman and a scholar. Don't worry about that 63 Grand Prix. Look at this thing. Air conditioning. That looks like a newer sand and compressor. Where's the fittings at? Oh yeah, I think it is set up for, yeah, those are 134 fittings. Wouldn't that be sweet? And oh, it does turn. Oh, she's stiff. Oh, never mind. Looks like Fixer Auto is our battery sponsor this week. Oh yeah, we brought a battery with, and that guy put the battery in here and started it, but I wasn't around. So yeah, it's got a 460. It's got a flexi hose. It's got an Edelbrock 1406. So just a little baby, what are they, 550? No, 600? 600. I think that's a 600 CFM. All right, chrome Edelbrock air cleaner, Fram, Ultra Guard, something or other. It's a Fram. Sure enough, Fram CA 3492. You could tell because Fram uses the obnoxious orange. I do like Fram air filters a lot better than oil filters. Little spacer on there. Power brakes, power steering, no hydro boost. It's got vacuum boost. Looks like it's got a newer Durasmark ignition tested Motorcraft modulator thingamabopper in there. Yeah, let's give her some hot sauce, see what happens. Sure enough, there's the retrofit in New Hampton, Iowa by Exhaust Pros and More, 309.5 East Main, 8/8 of 97. What's that, August 8th of 97? So this thing's been around. So the gentleman I got this thing from Stan Ornis. Stan Ornis used to run a rod shop or a jockey shop or something in Devil's Lake. We got it up by Devil's Lake. And anyway, I think my dad bought a 40 Ford two-door sedan from Stan. I'm a poet, and I didn't even know it. I wonder when he would have bought that. Probably about the same time as this thing was charged. 1997, 1996, 5? I don't know. Anyway, he still hasn't done anything with that two-door sedan. But so I grew up, my dad had a 34 Ford 3-window, still has it. Steel car, black with a flathead. We should pester him about getting that thing going. It's got a C4 automatic and a Ford 8-inch. And yeah, he wants to convert it to a T5 and put it back on the road, but he's got the T5 stuff. It's just kind of sitting there. Anyway, that car, yeah, I am an only child because my parents got it right the first time. Or if you know me, you would say your parents are too scared to have another child after having you. And that car had a rumble seat for me to ride in the back, or people to ride in the back. Dad referred to it as the mother-in-law seat. I'm sure other people have, but anyway. So it was us three in that 3-window coupe anytime we wanted to go anywhere. So there was not much room for luggage, not much room for people. So Dad wanted to build a 40 Ford two-door sedan. So there would be a back seat for me and a trunk for luggage. And then maybe a small block, because let's be honest, I spent a lot of time on the side of the road with that flathead. Either a bad starter Bendix, seemed like that was pretty common, a bad electric fuel pump, or overheating. Those were the three things that I remember with that car. One time the distributor got wet. Yeah, I spent a lot of time on the side of the road with a Ford flathead growing up. So that's why I love them so much. But anyway, yeah, I think he wanted a car with, you know, like power steering and brakes and cruise control and maybe a small block and all that good stuff. AC, but he never got there. It was a pretty nice car. Still is a pretty nice car. And I have since acquired several other 40 Ford two-door sedans. So yeah, maybe we should build one of those someday. Maybe not. Ooh, it's got the lever vent, made in USA. It's for releasing the pressure so you don't scald yourself. Everybody corrected me when I talked about that. So there's our condenser, great big tranny or power steering cooler. Another one over there. Maybe that's an engine oil cooler. Yeah, it's probably an engine oil cooler. Not gonna lie, I don't know much about, what do they call these? I mean, it's a big block. What are they? The 385 series, the 429s and the 460s. I don't know much about them. I think this is the first 460 I've ever owned. I know I've never owned a 429. They're kind of rare-ish. All right, let's give her a splash. See if she lights off. One thing Ford definitely did get right in these things: galvanized inner fenders. They don't get rusty. Oh, this thing had cruise control? Sweet! Tilt? Yeah, Ford's tricky, you know. GM's got two levers. Ford, you got to pull back on the lever to see if it's got tilt, but this one does not. Takansha brake controller for all the towing. Pioneer tape deck. Air conditioning, there it is right there. She's a custom. I think Ranger XLT was the top of the line. No way. 38,962 miles. And it's an edelbrock, so it'll probably idle. Stop for safety. It's the Wedge bed 78 Ford. Come on. Oh, let's just go ahead and put gas in the tank before we do that, Duff said. Good call, pal. Plastic door panels, busted up. Every one of these cups is always busted, just the way that it is. Oh, visors and chicken chasers. Oh, we're missing a couple chicken chaser lenses though. The forward-facing mullets. Hey, if you haven't got yourself one of these non-potable water jugs, they work extremely well for hauling explosive materials. That train is like a mile away across country. Well, the track is. It's probably like 3 miles away actually. And you can hear the horns. Those things are loud. Train horn life. This fuel filler neck angle is not ideal. Still beats the crap out of them jugs you buy at the hardware store. If you're ever out of gas and you're dumping a bunch of gas in, always save a little bit at the end to put in the carburetor. That's your tech tip of the day. Not that I've ever run out of gas, but I've helped a few people who have. Of course, that only affects something with a carburetor. If you got a late model with fuel injection, I don't know how you would drizzle that in there unless you had like a TBI, like a 88 to 95 Chevrolet pickup. Then you could drizzle it down the throttle body. I mean, are you really living life if you haven't experienced running out of gas on the side of the road? I mean, let's be honest, we've all done it. Some people, it's like a monthly or maybe even a weekly experience. Woo woo! Rub-bub!
Well, you want to woo woo?
You know how big the tank is in this thing? I'm sure this 460 was real good on the old petrol. Alright, save a little for our hot sauce bottle. Put the cap back on. Never mind, I just filled the hot sauce bottle. We'll save a little bit just in case. Hey, there's the train. So you're going by. I envy those folks who can paint those things. I'm no good with a rattle can. Kind of like I envy folks who can break dance. All right, enough of that dance and shenanigans. Let's make this thing do the 385 series dance. I feel like a 600 is too small of a carburetor. Probably needs a 750. You know, Jimmy, let's check the dipstick first. Why is this thing all twisted in knots? She's right up to the full mark, but... Oh, I was gonna say, is that a Ford thing? Sure enough, Ford service parts. It looks like somebody clamped their drill onto it and just reefed on it. Weird. Slingshot engaged!
Slingshot engaged!
I think I got duped. It definitely needs more than gas in the tank. But who knows? I'll give the seller the benefit of the doubt. We'll try it again. It did have really amazing oil pressure though. And it doesn't have a neutral safety switch. It was most definitely in gear, trying to lurch forward. We got her in park now though. I must have just slammed it in whatever gear I could reach. Low fuel economy. Yeah, I bet that thing is lit up all the time. Have you ever seen such a thing? Low fuel economy. Hopefully those are two different lights. Economy and low fuel. Well, the fuel gauge didn't come up, so maybe it's not hooked up. All right, slingshot engage. Come on, baby, pull some fuel. Is it doing it? How long will a 460 run on the fuel and the carburetor on a 600 CFM edelbrock? I feel like by now it would have burned it all out of there. We might be good. Look at that oil pressure. Right, if there was a low and a high and there was a medium, it'd be right on the right notch of the M. The second peak of the M. So I mean, that could be anywhere between 8 and 48 psi's of oil pressure right now. Horn don't work. Radio, you know it's gonna work. Oh, it lights up. Oh yeah. Oh, it's digital. Dang. It's got the radio intercept, whatever that is. Oh yeah, we can't play it for too long though. We don't want to get demonetized. Rubber floor mat. Red seat cover, factory seat in the back. Oh, look at this toilet brush that he's got holding up the headliner in the back. Very nice. I like.
Whoa, very nice.
3-point seat belts. for all of the safety. What kind of leaf is that? Definitely not an aspen. You can tell it's an aspen because of the way that it is.
This is an aspen. You can tell that it's an aspen tree because of the way it is.
Come on, baby, idle. Let's turn up the idle, see what happens. I don't know why I have to turn up the idle on everything. I don't know that that's the resolution, but it works. What is it, this guy right here? Let's turn you up a bit. If this stupid Ford distributor wasn't right in the way with all the plug wires, let's give her a full turn. There we go. Electric choke even? Cripes, it might even be hooked up to the factory wiring. What a deal. This thing's gonna be good. Unfortunately, it might be too good, so I might have to keep it, but stay tuned to the end of the video. We'll probably sell it. All right, will it start on its own without priming it? It runs smooth off idle, but it ain't real smooth at an idle. Timing off, vacuum leak, crappy gas in the carburetor. I can definitely hear an exhaust leak over here, not real bad. Oh, come on. All right, let's get this thing up to the shop. Take a look at her. I'd check the transmission fluid, but we don't have any width. And we're clearly not gonna go all the way up to the shop and get more. Got coolant in it, so we're good there. Take this hot sauce bottle out of there. We don't need a fire 2 weeks in a row. All right, let's see if this thing will go into gear. That's the beauty about transmission fluid. If you need some, you find out because you put it in gear and if it don't move, right? Yeah. Wonder what this got, C6? Hopefully we don't smoke it if it's empty. Duff is nowhere to be found. He's missing out on the first ride. Oh, do we need this piece of lath? It's probably a hood prop. Well, that's a pretty nice mirror. We don't need that because anything that happened back there is in the past. Oh, yeah. I can see why the door handle is screwed up. God, these Ford doors shut so much nicer than a GM. Oh. Is this like a padded-ish steering wheel? Whatever it is, it's not sticky like a GM. Come on now. All right, I'm gonna go give her a shot of hot sauce. Now she's gonna light off. And slam it in gear. We're off! Oh, this headliner definitely needs some work. It's rubbing my low-profile Richardson 115 ball cap. We're working on getting them coming. Power steering works. Brakes work? What a deal. Duff, you're missing out. First thing we should probably do is, oh man, run her into the wash bay. I wonder if this thing will fit in there with the old Trans-Mero bird parked in front of the hoist. This thing's long. That's what she said.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Oh yeah. Reverse? Heck yeah. How upset are you that you didn't get to go for a ride into the shop with this thing? Will you forgive me? Let's take a quick look at this thing. See how she looks. It's got a pretty nice bed on it, like compared to the OG ramp truck that we have. You know, it's just like 2 pieces of C-channel and a bunch of angle iron. This has got, you know, some nice square tubing. I think there's, was that, oh, that's for the winch controller, I bet. So you can run the winch back here. D-rings for a tie down. You got a bungee. Oh, are you trying to suck start it through the receiver hitch, you goon? Ramp hold downs. Winch cable just kind of dragging. Where's the tail lights at? Oh, they got them tucked in there so you can't knock them out. Those are pretty good. Some more lights over here. A little bit of rot in the bed. Could be expected, especially if this thing came from Iowa. I think it's got 4 aluminum wheels. Is it missing one from what I remember? Some toolboxes, more tie downs, wheel chock. That winch is way too small, and that looks like a Ford starter motor driving it, so that thing's surely going to take a dump on us because it's a starter motor. Got some lights back here, some underbed storage. I'm going to try this out. Oh, a spare tire! Dang, that's freaking neat. And the fuel cell looks like it does have a gauge on it, so I might have to look into getting that working. Looks like they got like a, I don't know what you call it, some pillow blocks of the shaft so that you keep your winch low as opposed to your cable, so is it going straight if you got a low vehicle, or I don't know, you know what I'm saying. Not sure what they had going on here, but it looks like they had some type of pin on mount, maybe for holding spare tires. Same thing up front here, but this kind of looks like is where you would have some spare tires too, so I don't know. Clearly they were into racing with the checkered flags. Hinges are a little sticky. Looks like you got a spare simulator in there. A little divider between the compartments. Yeah, pretty well thought out rig. Ugh. How about up here? I would imagine this goes all the way through. Oh, no, it doesn't. It's just the same compartment. Okay. It's pretty common for these crew cabs to rust out up here, I guess. That's what the expert told me. This tint is terrible, needs to go. Oh, it's got the visors up front but not out back. Got these on the old Cowboy Cadillac. I like them. Cheesy pinstripes. Looks like the old Ameritrac by General is a little low. Oh yeah, real low. Nice polished aluminum. I don't know, maybe they're Alcoas? We should clean those up, Duff. You should. Yeah. Chrome front bumper. Like I said, square headlights. I'm guessing that's an aftermarket grill because I've never seen an original one do that. But then again, I really haven't paid attention. This was somebody's pride and joy at one point, like I said, with the visor and those deflectors and all the pinstripes. This thing was schwanky. Little rot in the driver's door. Fender's awesome. Yeah. Oh, cab corner or whatever. B-pillar rot. Cab corner as well. Rear door. None of this is terrible. And like I said, crew cabs are a freaking hot commodity. Kind of always have been. Yeah. More storage up here. Hopefully that shag carpet didn't hold a bunch of moisture in and rot it out. Although, kind of looks like there's a hole right there. Oh yeah. She's pretty soft. That's the problem with carpet, is it holds moisture. You should have put some rubber in there. But it's all flat iron, pretty easy to fix. What do you think, Duff? Is there any critters in there? What is this? What kind of surfboard is that? I don't know. Probably something for a race car, who knows? What else is back here? That's definitely a mouse house. A car cover. Ooh, that has been made into a mouse house. Get your nose out of there, you goon. Gross. Yeah, we're definitely disposing of that. Yuck. Nasty. White letters out, Hancock. See, that's aluminum. That wheel on that other side, yeah, is a steel wheel, just painted to look aluminum. That's what it is. Yep, that's a steel wheel. Dang it. So if anybody's got one aluminum wheel, a rear dual, hit us up, mortskerepair@gmail.com. Oh yeah, definitely mouse house. I think these are reflectors for when you're broke down on the side of the road. Ford things. Just kidding, Ford guys, you're so angry. How about the winch controller? Is that in there anywhere? That would be handy. Oh, that stinks. There's our winch controller. Woohoo! Looks like you could even run it up here. No way. You kidding me? Guess that answers that question. We don't even have to fix the winch. How neat is that?
That's pretty neat.
I'm pretty sure we could check fluids and check tires. And we could be hauling with this thing. Tell you what, it's late enough in the day. We're gonna have a sandwich and we're gonna think about it. What is that thing? You can't even tell what a new car is anymore. Is that a Honda? Who cares, right, Duff? It's no freaking 78 Ford ramp truck. Let me guess, is it a 7-pin flat? It is! I was gonna say it's the old 5-pin round, but she's a 7-pin flat. It's pretty awesome. Can't really see the license plate back there. Oh, it's even got more lights. You're in the way, Duff. You're in the way. This thing's... Oh, I think we just clean her up. Maybe patch that floor. Work on the tint. Rip the headliner out. Put a belt on the AC. We're gonna be doing race car things. Oh, we need some chicken chasers. Ah, windshield's cracked. Dagnabbit, right in the middle. Oh, we gotta glue the mirror on. Probably need some wiper blades too. All right, let's unhook the battery so we don't burn the shop down. I don't like all this gas line hose. There's a huge fuel filter, so that kind of tells me that somebody's been having fuel problems. Oh, we need a radiator hose too. Yeah, this thing's gonna be good. We're gonna get back to it in the morning. Oh, it's got a flexi lower. God dang it. Look at all them rivets in the radiator shroud. Definitely race car things. But it's got a shroud, so hopefully it runs cool. We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming to bring you some concrete. Tell them your concrete joke. Later. I'm not ready. You're not ready? What? Concrete workers can lift a ton, but they can't spell it. The perfect concrete worker can lift a ton, but not spell it. Now we're talking. What is he called? A derby?
Fresno Derby.
A Fresno Derby.
Like,
it's from California.
Most like basement floors and stuff, they get floor covering. That's all they get. No power trowels, anything. Because you know, it's flat, it's smooth. It just doesn't have that really burned nice finish.
And L&L Construction has all kinds of openings. You're looking for work, I'm going to give them your phone number, email, home address down below. See if we can find Mojo. He's out here scratching dirt on the old Ford 8N. He was sick of watching concrete dry, so we come out here and scratch this up every so often. Like to do it kind of after it rains so it ain't all dusty, and that keeps the weeds down. Otherwise it would probably look like that. Where the heck is he at? In the South 40? Oh, here he comes. The old 3-point cultivator. 2-point? No, I think it's a 3-point. Or the Ferguson system, maybe Ford called it. Let's see if we can sneak up on him. Just a big 75-year-old kid playing in his sandbox. Living the dream. I guess I'll pick up some sticks while I'm out here. The joy of having rural property. Looks like he shot through here once in a while. Gotta find something to clean up around the trees a little better. Does a pretty dang good job though, for being a 70-year-old piece of equipment and 75-year-old operator. They're both well seasoned. We're gonna have a bonfire one of these days. All right, one of the concrete boys is out here cutting the concrete, and I gotta use the dually and I can't have a topper in it because I got to haul an engine. We got to go pick up that Olds Rocket in Minnesota, and I got to go to a wedding on the way. So A, drive an old cool vehicle, B, haul some junk with it, C, get some more junk. But anyway, while he's here, I'm gonna make him help me take the topper off and put it on another square body. So I'm gonna go hook onto said square body with Bernie here. Go for a ride? Yep. Oh my gosh, this tow truck is handier than a shirt with pockets. All right, took the mullet off the back of the old cowboy Cadillac. GM Construction's a nice enough guy. He's tying down, getting ready to leave. Helped me swap the old glass tight over. Go to Dunwell, Minnesota. Now we can push it back in the hole and fill the back of this thing up with stuff. Where square bodies come to die. All right, guys, I was just about to shut her down for the night, and we were gonna, like I said, unhook the battery on this. This is a serious note, guys. We just dumped 6 gallons of gas in that thing, 5 and change. I was doing my walk around to the shop like I do every night before I shut it down, making sure oxygen tanks are turned off, acetylene tanks, welder tanks, man, are those expensive. Making sure the battery chargers are unplugged, batteries are unhooked. I know it's kind of a mess here, but no GoPro batteries on the charger, nothing on the Milwaukee there. I know I should have a better storage for my batteries, both those batteries and the car batteries we got. I need to work on that. We got the flammable cabinets, but here's the deal, guys. I was walking out, looking underneath that thing. It's sprinkling. We haven't got any rain here for, I don't know, it's dry. It's not terrible dry here like it is in some places. Wes says it's super dry out there, but anyway, that thing's leaking gas. So this thing runs okay. I think we'd be fine backing it out of here, but after last week's incident, I did order, I think 2-3 packs of small carbon dioxide, CO2 fire extinguishers, and then a large, like a 20-pounder. That 20-pounder is over $200 on Amazon. I'll try to remember to put a link to that stuff down below, but I'm not an excellent firefighter. I should have smothered that fire. I should have done anything but what we do, blowing air on it and putting water on it, 2 things that we shouldn't have done. We do have these, what are they? Are they ABCs? I don't know. I don't know a ton about fire extinguishers, but I know, look at that. Wow, it's still good. But yeah, check to make sure they don't need to be recharged. Make sure you got the right one. Yeah, so that's an ABC, so it'll work fine. Those things make an absolute mess. If you get those down a carburetor, if you've ever been in a race car, a demolition derby car, or you're at the boat ramp and your boat backfires, and if you've ever put a fire extinguisher on anything mechanical, it is an absolute nightmare to clean up. Like, pressure wash it off an engine ain't so bad, but you get that thing all over in your ignition system and in your carburetor. I don't know what it's like on fuel injection. I'm sure it's the same, but probably got a bunch of wires burnt up already. But anyway, that stuff's nasty. It works. That stuff would have solved the problem. Not a big deal. Nothing. Nobody got hurt. We didn't burn the shop down. We didn't wreck the plug wires in that car. It's still available. Well, as of today it is. But anyway, I'm gonna go get Bernie because everyone needs a tow truck. We're gonna tow this thing out here. Enough ranting and raving. But anyway, guys, gals, boys, girls, kids, like I said, shop safety. This week's topic is fire. Anyway, yeah, take all the precautions. I don't take enough precautions. We're gonna wipe this up. We're gonna dispose of the rags properly. We don't want those laying around in the shop. There's a lot of, I forget what the chemical is, but Ryan on the ham, he had his wood shop, and I can't remember what he's wiping wood down. Anyway, threw the rags in the trash can, and they lit up, and caught it all on video overnight. Luckily, nothing really got harmed, but anyway, yeah, shop safety, guys. Know it, live it, learn it, love it, whatever. Be safe out there. All right, I'm gonna go get Bernie before I crack myself a whibby, because you always want to run your tow truck sober. So I really don't know why I'm always bashing the chicken chasers, because look at how Bernie looks all lit up. Oh, everybody wants me to turn the beacons on. Perfect opportunity, eh, Pop? Get yourself a tow truck. You won't regret it. Okay, maybe you will. We got another one we need to work on that we're probably gonna regret. Where's the switch? Beacon. Boom. Oh, they don't turn though. Well, cripes. We tried. Floods? Oh yeah. Oh, one of them's out too. We're gonna have to get on that. So we're up to keeping our street legal. What's the last one? Ox. I have no idea what that's for. We should put something on here. Well, that's kind of unfortunate. The big lights don't rotate. Hey, fixed it. And who says tapping on stuff doesn't fix it? Didn't even need a hammer. This one is cracked just a hair. If anybody's got a lens, hit us up. mortskerepair@gmail.com. The old twin Sonic. Per Canada code, patented Canada 67 and 68. She's a Series A1, Model 12. Oh shoot, that's made by Ernest Holmes too. That guy branded everything. Like even the, all these joints that are welded, the D-rings, all this stuff. She's a badge Ernest Holmes. The handles, what a guy. All right, there you go. You guys can see her with the beacons on. I'm gonna go grab our towing kit out of the tow pig, and god dang it, bugs, I tell you what, Yankum ropes. We haven't had to pull anything out yet, but they got a sweet slide-in receiver coupler, and then we can put a clevis on it. And that way we're pulling safe and we don't put a cable or something through our forehead. So yeah, hold on for that. Go check out Yankum ropes. They got some really awesome products. Haven't got to use it yet, but looks pretty good. Not a paid promotion. All right, kill deer. I was hoping they went away for the season. We got some gravel to move. It's getting dark. I'm getting thirsty. All right, next safety tip. Still the same day. This here's a receiver. Came from Yankum. It's a Tow Points brand. Look at that. Made in America. Hayburn, Idaho. Working WLL, working load limit, 13,200 pounds. Get them at yankumropes.com. We got the hitch point too. So this has got the proper D-ring on it. Slide this guy in here. Tech tip of the day. If you're ever at the hardware store or parts store and they got these things on sale, buy about a half dozen of them because they seem to grow legs. And you're always looking for one. I changed my mind. I'm putting it in vertically. I don't know that it matters. But this way our hook can't really slide out because using gravity to our advantage. This, look at this D-ring. She's bent up. We don't know if Ray Charles welded that or what. So we don't want to pull on that. We don't want that thing going through our forehead. Do we now, Duff? Oh, and this thing's got a working BR6. I thought it had a working load limit on there. There you go, working load limit, 6.5 tons. That's 13,000 pounds too. This thing don't weigh that. It's not in park. We're not gonna shear the parking pin off. Duff already checked it. We're gonna fire up this whole Holmes 480. This thing's a twin boom. I don't know a ton about them. Grandpa always used to brag about them, but we're just gonna use the single winch line. And we're gonna give you a nice vantage point from the old UV34 Bobcat. Not a paid sponsor. Ernest Holmes, Bobcat, Polaris. You guys want to sponsor us though, we'll take it. Alrighty, we got her out of the shop, away from the shop, so if it spontaneously combusts, which it should not, it won't burn the shop down. And nobody died doing it, right, Duff? Let's put this thing inside for the night. Sorry, Clifford, the big red dog, you gotta sleep outside. Because you wet the bed. But you know who gets to sleep inside? Bernie. We gotta do a little work to this thing. Look at that, she's a good sticker, the old Mojo Craft. Tell them where to get them, Duff. Mortske.com. I should do a video on this thing. This thing is so good. This thing's got a 390 in it, just runs sweet. Little bit cold-blooded. It's got a 4-barrel Holly on it. This thing is good. Maybe we'll sneak that in this video. Kind of rolls into it, because that, is this a 74 or is it a 73? It's 73. But see, square headlight, round headlight. These dent side Fords, tell you what, you guys all call me a GM guy, but give me a dent side Ford over an early square body any day. Even the doors on these things are just, they're nice. The GMs are a lot easier to work on, not gonna lie. And then they got so many differences in the engines, which small block, big block, it don't matter, GM. Silly Fords, but anyway, Duff, what is this? That was about, put your sniffer on it. Ew, he says. Yeah, it smells like bad gas. So, you know, in perfect Mortske fashion, said we weren't gonna have a fire this week, but let's clean it all up and dispose of it properly. Because shouldn't be water back there. Unless there was like a compartment, but this is pretty flat ground. If it was gonna spill out water, I think it would be on an incline. I can't smell the best, but pretty sure that's gasoline. Should have probably been wearing gloves when I did that, right? Now my hands are all covered in gas. Son of a biscuit. Check out our flags, see which way the wind's blowing. Maybe it's not gas. What could it be? Or is it just that bad of gas? Oh yeah, that's burning way better than a standard t-shirt rag should burn. T-shirt rags are the best. Right up there with fires. Duff, get the marshmallow. You wanna lay down by the campfire? Yeah, pretty sure that's bad gas. We'll have to crawl underneath it and check it out. Make sure to watch our bonfire. Speaking of that, we are shutting down for the night, and I am parched. You guys should all reach out to Wibby Brewing Company. Tell them Mortske's been shouting you out. You guys aren't offered in North Dakota, you gotta go to Colorado. Or maybe tell them Mortske's bringing his Trans Am out if you guys will give him as much beer as will fit in the trunk and the back seat of that thing so we can smuggle back here. It'd be like old Burt Reynolds, but we'll be Dirt Reynolds smuggling Wibby from Colorado. Can't think of the town. That's good beer. Yeah. So anyway, reach out to Wibby Brewing Company and tell them Dirt Reynolds needs some Wibbies to haul back to North Dakota. We could even put a hitch on it. Imagine how cool that would be, Duff. Pulling a little two-wheel trailer full of Wibby on the back. We'll even rattle can it with Wibby on the side. Sounds like a good idea, huh? Oh, that silly Ford's leaking out the main. And that's a rear main because the front bumper was right here. That's definitely a 385 disc. Look at that rag still burning, son of a biscuit. Oh, frickin' Bernie's got a rear main leak too, so that'll be fun to replace on a 390. But look at that. She's pretty much dried up, so we know that it is not gear oil. Anyway, anybody know how to run one of these recovery machines? Pick this one up on an auction. And that's dated 3/93, March of 93, so this thing is over 30 years old. It's got 1.98 hours on it. We're gonna see if she's gonna work on R134, because we ain't got no R12, but that's what it's meant for. So anyway, if you know a reason that that's not gonna work, comment down below why our R12 machine isn't gonna work on R134, or what we need to do to change it. We're just gonna wing it. We just changed the couplers. Hopefully it works. Pretty sure that's all they did on this pickup when they changed it. Maybe we changed the filter. Receiver dryer, is that what they call it? I don't know a ton about AC. I know a ton about sandwiches. Anyway, what a bonfire we got going on here. Duff, we should pull up a chair. We need some folding chairs. Say Mortske on them. Got a little breeze tonight. That's one thing. We don't get many calm nights out here. All right, we'll see you guys in the morning.
took the breaker.
What? I was wondering. That cord ain't very big. Made it home from the wedding. Everything went well. Didn't chase any bridesmaids, so didn't end up prison. Didn't break any bones. Didn't end up with any mysterious bruises or stitches or anything like that. And as you saw, we went over to the gentleman from Iola that I met at Iola that I bought the LaSalle transmission. And look at all these goodies we got. Let's take a look. So how I ended up there was I bought a LaSalle transmission from him, Cadillac LaSalle 37. LaSalle transmission, and it had a 50 Olds tail housing on it, and then he had this hopped up Olds 50 Olds 303 punched out, yada yada yada, and he gave me a sweet deal on that, but I said, oh, we got no way to get it across the campgrounds, and he said where he was from, and he said Minnesota, so I was like, well, we'll go pick that up. And then he threw in another engine with that was all blown apart, another 303 Olds, and then he had this other, I don't know if it's 303 or 324, and I thought he'd sold it at the swap meet, but he didn't. And so, yeah, I ended up buying that. Threw in a whole bunch of new old stock Felpro gaskets. Old Mojo showing up at the 6.2. Threw in, an extra 50 Olds tail housing so I can convert my other LaSalle to a short tail housing. His is machined out to take a 55 Chevy Seal. He said these are unobtainium, or used to be. What else we got? But anyway, this has got McGurk adjustable rockers. It's bored out 3/16. It's got high compression pistons. It's got an Engel 134 cam, solid lifters, all the good stuff. And then this was one that somebody took apart and was machining or was gonna get it machined and build it. So they blew it all apart, got it hot tanked, and there it sits. So that's a complete stock engine. He threw in a 371. I can't remember if it's a 371. Anyway, another Olds 4-barrel intake. The heads, everything for this engine. And then this one was supposedly a good runner that his buddy took out and put a 455 in there. So we had to take the hydromatic off the back of that because he's going to be keeping that. So we'll have to put a starter on it and either a flywheel or flex plate. See if we can't get that running, but it's supposed to be a good engine. So all kinds of good stuff. Now we just got to find homes for it. But yeah, I think that'll be a super cool hot rod engine, or that one, any of them. And then especially with a LaSalle behind it. We interrupt your regularly scheduled shenanigans to do a little trick / surprise on Mojo. Mojo's got, I believe it's an 83 Chevy pickup over here. 6.2 diesel, loves this thing. DB, it's not douchebag, it's drummer boy. No, just go over there and be out of the way. So we sent Mojo over to Bobbin Arounds to get some oil. And we're gonna surprise him with some new tires. Look at the old Cooper Discoverers on this thing. A, it's white letters out. B, they're shot. C, the rallies are pretty crusty. So we sent him off with the tow pig. He's gonna go get us some oil. Uh-oh, he might be on to us. He probably needs an extension cord. Oh, and his tube. We'll help him out. I suppose you need your tube, huh? Yep. All right, there he goes. He should be gone for about 45 minutes. 241. All right, 13/16. Oh yeah! Lifted Crown Vic. You guys have all seen people do that. So I'm gonna show you the tires. You've seen people take wheels and tires off. So we got some freshly blasted 8-inch 6-lug rallies. We got some cleaned up center caps and beauty rings. And we got some General Grabber 31 by 1050 15s. Mojo wanted 235s, but he's got 31s on there and they look good. So that's what we're going with. Duff, stay out of my home fresh. Nashua, New Hampshire. Yeah, that's a telemarketer. I don't know anybody there. All right, let's get these things mounted. man, this thing looks way more gooder. See if Mojo even notices when he pulls in. Well, she's almost been an hour. We're having issues. New chrome lug nuts are stripping out. One wheel wasn't drilled for a center cap, so we had to drill those out. Of course, one of them stripped out. One of them stripped out on the other wheel, but we're just putting regular lug nuts on a few of them, but pretty much got her. Looks way better. Right, DB?
Yeah.
Jeez, you just can't get good help around here. Old DB, he stretched him out. Damn it, he had to snap one off. We just... I thought it was on the driver's side.
I was waiting for the torque wrench to go click.
Oh, it was on the other driver's side. Gotcha.
Passenger side in the back.
Oh, no, that's all you, pal. That's all you.
The torque wrench never went click, so I kept going.
All right, we better hide. Mojo's gonna be showing up. Oh, and then DB almost backed into the La Sabre. That would have been bad news with the side-by-side. Here he goes. Hiding in the backyard. Oh, that tote is full. Did you break anything?
No, we got some oil.
Didn't break nothing?
What's that?
Look what a damn it did.
Well, gotta go. How'd you do that?
I don't know, he was torquing the wheels on your pickup a little bit too tight.
You're missing a lug nut, so I put one on there.
So now you gotta pull the axle shaft on your pickup.
I do?
Yeah.
Why?
I could just bring
Because
the welder around.
he broke the freaking wheel stud off your pickup.
Why'd you do that?
I could-
It'll run around on 4.
5! If 5 don't hold, 6 never would have?
Right.
I see there was 6 new wheel studs on the front. You must have broke them off one time, huh?
Was broke.
It was, oh, that was somebody, it came like that, huh?
Yeah. That's another learning experience when you got teenagers, you know.
Oh, that was Mojo Jr. that did that, huh?
More muscles than I have.
If only we could say the
What are
same.
you doing with new tires on there?
Why, we didn't want no excuse that you couldn't make it to work in the winter. We said now we just got to find a 6.2 that'll start in the winter.
Yeah. That one will.
That one will?
Yeah. When you plug it in.
God, should we get some bigger ones? I think we could fit some 33s under there.
What size are those supposed to be now? The same size they had on there?
Yep. Dang kids.
Dang kid.
We could put some little old man tires on there if you want.
Well, you're going to be going. When I'm going. 50.
You got a 6.2. You can't break the speed limit anyway.
I got new tires for the Buick. You can take them and put them on. Put my old one down there.
Oh, they look pretty sharp on it. What's the wife gonna say now?
She's gonna, yeah. She's gonna tell you how much did them cost.
Yeah.
I'm guessing she don't even notice if you don't tell her.
Not much gets by Linda. Linda paints trailer wheels.
Oh,
So.
yeah, never mind. You're screwed.
He's gotta be awful careful.
I got baked goods today.
See? He's got bake rights.
I'll just tell her that's from all the cookies and goodies she bakes.
Yeah. Tell her I'll take it out of her bill. Just pissed we put 31s back on there.
I should have stayed over there and served longer. Maybe you guys would have put a new box and cap on there.
Oh, now we gotta do body work? We can't even put wheels on without snapping studs off. You don't want to see what we do for body work.
Yeah.
Back to work, he says.
Back to work.
Well, shop didn't burn down last night, so that's good. Whew, triaxle, you don't see many of them. I did figure out what the deal is. So they got rubber hose going all the way from that tank up to the fuel pump. And there should be steel line. I think rubber hose, you're only supposed to have like, I'm just shooting from the hip, but like 6-8 inches of it. Because like anything else that's rubber, seal that's leaking, brake hoses, wheel cylinders, tires, brake hoses, all that stuff. Rubber breaks down over time. So, I mean, yeah, if you got an 8-inch chunk of rubber, you're limiting your options for how much gonna go bad. Or, you get what I'm saying. Anyway, there's a quarter turn valve back there, so I turned the fuel off, left it outside. We did get a nice rain last night. We were due for it. Unfortunately, I left the windows down, which didn't seem like it hurt anything. Oh, check her out, Duff. So anyway, I'm gonna go underneath and lay in the mud and turn that on. Or maybe we'll see if we can push it in. Do you think we can push this beast in? Oh, hey, look. Just out bobbing around. Wow. I swear that guy puts on 60,000 miles without leaving the township. Every year. Okay. So, oh, and there's just a giant spin-on fuel filter. Let's get this on the hoist and take a look at it. Yes, it's a hoist, not a lift pudding. You want to go underneath and turn that ball valve on? What are the odds that it sucks up enough fuel to start? Which would make sense why it was out of fuel, because it all leaked out in that guy's yard. Oh, look at even the grommet says fuel on it. That's pretty neat.
How neat is that?
Duff, who's that? He's just bobbing around. Maybe we can get this thing pushed in. Get him, Duff. You feeling strong? Well, we got Clifford, the big red dog, up on the lift. And I grabbed the tape measure. And this thing, it's got about a 12-foot bed that you can use from where the wheel sits. So, I mean, 144-ish inch wheelbase is what you can put on there, and that gives you a little bit of room. So you're not gonna haul a crew cab on the back of this thing. We took a tape measure and it's been stretched 4 feet in here. I got it all written down over here. The bed is like 16 feet 3 inches. And hold on, looking at my notes here. Wheelbase is 215 and a half. It's 103 and a quarter from the back of the cab to the center of the wheel. If I were to, that's the other reason I kind of bought this thing, is like maybe I can put this bed on that cab over if all else fails. But yeah, let's take a look at this thing. Like I said, these floors are shot, but that's all flat stuff. Easy enough to replace. This lip here kind of got bent up, so that needs to be knocked down and screwed into place, because that's also the hinge. The bottoms of the doors in the back, like these are crew cab only doors. They need some work. Looks like the inner's even a little rusty. Cab corners shot, but the inner seems okay. Like I said, this cab corner here, or B pillar, is rusty. You could probably use some work on the inner structure there. Same thing on the other side. A little rust there. I think somebody put fenders on it. See how that's shinier than this? I don't know where these things typically rust out. Oh, got a little whiskey dent over here. It's always on the passenger side. Huh, I never knew these had plastic inner fender liners. This B pillar isn't as bad, but she's still rusty. Yeah, got to do some work on the inner structure on the rear door. And then the cab corner as well. Little seam sealer oozing out there. This floor, again, flat metal. That probably needs some replacing too. I don't know if we'll get to that. Maybe someday. Big single exhaust. It doesn't go all the way out the back. Somebody kind of baloney cut it. Oh, and then welded it right to the cross member. Kind of like it when they go out the side. And of course, they didn't even file their cut. But this thing is pretty well built, especially the hitch. Big tube there. You got some D-rings up here. That's good to know in case I ever do pull something with it. C-channel, doubled up, front and back. They got this big plate here. What is this? Every 2 feet, they got these C-channel stringers. More C-channel, flat plate, rectangular tubing, square tubing, more C-channel, more rectangular tubing. It's pretty well built, very well built actually. We should probably put a rubber hose on there. We should probably put a rubber hose or a better breather on there. I'm guessing this is like a Dana 60, 70 something or other. Somebody's gonna yell at me. New brake lines. You got the nice curly Q going on there. Everything's in split loom, zip tied up, P-clamps with a frame rail. They did a really nice job, actually. This was definitely somebody's pride and joy. License plate kind of hangs low down here, so it gets beat up. Yeah, not a bunch of Scotch clips. Oh, there's a zip tie that wasn't trimmed off. There's one that wasn't tightened up. I mean, pretty minor stuff. Could all be doctored up pretty well. There's some tape. I'm sure that's hiding some sins under there, but overall, this thing is... There's some butt connectors that are exposed. She ain't too bad. That's our winch control. Another zip tie that ain't trimmed out. Oh, look at these cute little gussets. Like, what were those things doing? It's like sheet metal. And plus, they should be turned on end instead of laying flat like that, but whatevs. Yeah, and then this, instead of this tin just hanging out here, some guys will have that tin hanging out there, so anytime you bump it, it bends, but these guys got some, what, 3/4 inch angle iron on there, so it's pretty rigid. God, and that's like 3/8 inch flat plate in there to tie this C-channel to that C-channel. But this is where these beds get in bad shapes, because you got this flat decking set on top of the C-channel, so all the moisture and everything gets in there, and that's what rots them out. But it is what it is. Looks like it's got some newer Monroes, but they're not new by any means. A mile of drive shaft, all kinds of zerks that need to be greased. What is that, 2.5 inch exhaust? Muffler, she's toast. Gonna need one of those. Yeah, solid hanger up here. That's kind of weird. I don't know why they didn't put rubber in there in this hanger. Not doing anything. It's got the big old parking brake drum on the back of the transmission. A lot of the 1-tons had that in heavier duty trucks. 1.25 tons, 1.5 tons. Big old fancy finned aluminum racing pan. Racing? I don't know. Towing on the old C6 here. These bushings are always shot. It's got the twin I-beam front suspension, which a lot of guys like. These things say they drive really nice. The problem with them is you can't lower them, which I don't know if I'll lower a ramp truck, but these bushings go bad. They're, again, made out of rubber, so you got to replace those. Those are pretty easy. You just take that bolt out, pull everything ahead. Shocks are shot. But they do have, like, I think they call it a kingpin. So that's a little work to replace those. Instead of a ball joint, they got these kingpins in here, and then there's bushings, and you got to have a reamer and yada, yada, yada. But, and then I thought there was some other, oh yeah, I think there's a bushing in the end of this guy. So you got to drop this out, and then I think you got to press that bushing in and out. Great big sway bar on the back. That's a plus. Yeah, is this an oil? Oh yeah. Here's our Napa filter. Looks like they got some type of adapter coming off the 460. And these are oil cooler hoses. Again, rubber, so they should be replaced. Transmission cooler lines, rubber, needs to be replaced. And looks like they got an inline filter in there, which, nothing wrong with that. You don't see many tranny filters. I'm guessing somebody smoked a few trannies in this thing, so they were doing everything they could to prevent that. Great big disc brakes on here. Date is made in Canada. Doesn't look like this thing's got a ton of miles on it. It's got some pretty freshish blue paint. Front seal is weeping a little bit. I mean, she's just greasy. The power steering, I'm sure, is leaking. Seems like everything we have with power steering is leaking as of recent. I even painted the shields on the exhaust manifolds. Didn't put headers on it. It was a good rebuild because there's not a bunch of overspray all over like the front cover. Oh, never mind. Definitely overspray on the timing cover. No overspray on the fuel pump though. Somebody maybe changed that at one point. And then, yeah, our rear main. Super, super leaky. That's unfortunate. Look at this drain plug. Just spit it out right on the inner tie rod end. No big deal. I'm sure that doesn't splash absolutely everywhere. A lot of blue paint on that engine. I can't imagine it's got a ton of miles on a rebuild. She needs a good pressure washing. Looks like the shift shaft seal's leaking on the tranny. Seems like we've had a million of those lately. The fancy finned aluminum pan on the transmission also got a drain plug, so that's handy. Yeah, the power steering, oh yeah, she's definitely leaking. And then it's all over the frame here. She needs a good washing and to be resealed. Again, you can see these brake lines. They're not in terrible shape, but I should probably replace those. And it wouldn't hurt to probably do calipers on the front and pack the wheel bearings and all of the good stuff. I'm guessing the front seal and the tranny's leaking, because why wouldn't it be? Yeah, overall, this thing ain't too bad. You know, the floors on the cab seem solid. There's a little bit of rust right there on the passenger side toe board. Driver's side, a little bit more soft. I mean, how crazy do you want to get? It's only going to get worse, but good enough for the girls we go with. Get your good enough for the girls we go with decal at mortske.com. Here's where they put the 4 feet in the frame, if I can find it. Oh, right there. You can see this is the stock frame. Here's a weld where they spliced it. Then they fish plated it on the inside. Did a real nice job of that. They could have boxed it, I guess. That would be about the only thing to make it any stronger. And then they did the same thing right here. There's a fish plate in there. They did kind of box it, but I think that plate is just to hold this ginormous fuel filter that they put on. Great big fuel filter. And then of course, rubber hose that's broken and kinked, and that's where it was leaking. See, they got a nice quarter turn shutoff valve. All kinds of fittings stacked up. The fuel tank does have a drain plug on it, so we can drain that. And we can put the camera in there and see just how rusty it is, so that we're not plugging up fuel filters and screwing up a new carburetor if we go through it or put one in there. Yeah, this side of the frame, they got that fish plate in there, welded it up. I'm assuming this thing's been together for 30 plus years, so all that stuff should be pretty good. It's not all rusty or nothing. They made this cross member out of 2x2 rectangular tubing and then put this hanger bearing in and probably just put this 4-foot drive shaft in there and extended it all out. So yeah, you got 3 drive shafts and 2 hanger bearings, all of the drive line. Pinion seal, she's a little moist, so we should probably check that so we don't pull a mic and spin out our pinion bearing or wheel bearing. Somebody already cut the park brake cables, so we don't need those. It's kind of weird that it's got park brake cables here and one on the transmission. I didn't even notice this. This thing's got a little baby sway bar on the back too. Then you can see, I like to run brake line by those rolls. I think they're in like 25 or 50 feet. So there's a splice here on the brake line, so that's 2 spots that it can leak. Another splice there, 4 spots, and another splice there. So there's 6 spots that thing could leak. Plus these stupid little splices are like $9 a piece. So there's 36 bucks worth of splices. Plus you got to buy all that line. It would have been just cheaper to just get a roll of line and flare 2 ends on it, carry on, but it's all in good shape at least. And like I said, it's clamped in place. They did a really nice job of running all this stuff. But here's where our issue came up last night. It's leaking there or there, one or the other. But you should only run a rubber hose like 6 to 8 inches at a time, basically from the frame rail to the fuel pump. Well, this thing's gonna have it the whole way. But yeah, so these guys got like 25 feet of rubber hose, plus a splice there. Plus it's run with electrical wires, which is kind of a no-no. You don't want fuel and electrical rubbing on each other, and if something arcs, then matching the gas tank. Boom, boom.
Matching the gas tank. Boom, boom.
So first thing we're gonna do here is I think we're gonna get rid of this fuel filter. We're just gonna put an inline one in place. We're gonna make sure we got all the right fittings here. And then I got some 3/8. I don't have a ton of it, but I got enough to get us started. I don't know, it'll be close. I need to order some more. And we'll use rubber for what we need. And we'll drain that tank and see what we got in there in our cleanish bucket. Maybe I'll wipe that out first. And we will get rid of all that rubber fuel line so we're not leaking in the shop. We'll get a look inside the tank and we'll see if we're gonna be battling rust in a fuel tank. I hope not, because we can't just order that tank. We either have to get it cleaned, clean it ourselves, or make a new one because it's a custom tank. Yeah, good stuff. So I'm sure it'll be just fine. Like I said, this thing is, said it was on the road not too long ago. We did check the tires in the back and it was a date code 10th week of 06. So those are 17-year-old tires. They're Hankook, white letters out, of course, 235/85 16s. And they are, I mean, they got hardly any miles on them. And they all are holding air, I think. Ooh, that's a Power King. Is that a mismatch one, or is that a hand-cooked Power King? Oh, no white letter out on this side. Power King, Power King. Oh, there's a Uniroyal. So the Uniroyal is dated 10 of 06. And then there's the Hankook Dynapro. So we got 3 different tires back here. They're all in really good shape. Like, so they're 17 years old. If we're hauling something on the bed, we do not want to have a blowout. I know there's a spare, but yeah. So we should probably find some tires. What is the date code on this guy? Your tech tip of the day. It's pretty easy to find date codes on these tires. Sometimes I only have it on one side though. Well, anyway, these things are all mismatched. There's our date code. 1006. So that is the 10th week of 06. So that is a 17-year-old tire. And if we know anything about 17-year-olds, they'll get you in trouble. Leaf springs look like they've been used. That's for sure. Look at how he's got them clamped down and they're like bowing out. Oofta. I don't know if I like that or not. I think they need some longer U-bolts. This side ain't doing it as bad, but you can see how that leaf is bent down. So I don't know if that's from overloading or if they just got it clamped down so it ain't tight. And you can see, I don't know what this caught, but that U-bolt strap has hit something and bent. I don't know if they had a bolt in that bracket up there that hit that. I think that's what it was, but this side definitely did the same thing. They had a bump stop up there. So yeah, always check the date code on some tires. And that code style that I got, they used to use letters and numbers or something pre-2000. So I'm guessing those tires on that other side, since I couldn't find a date code, are pre-2000. So 23-plus-year-old tires. How about the General Ameritrac? What date are you? These got a little bit more weather checking. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these are pre-2000 tires. Yeah, definitely not in as good a shape. Looks like they're wearing a little bit on the outside, probably due to some bushing wear. Oh no, 13th week of 03 right there. So still 20-year-old tire. We're gonna want to look into putting some tires on this hot rod. So great, 6 tires at, I don't know, you can get a 16 for like that. $200 crack, that's $1,200, which we just did on old Bernie here. They were really bad on this thing. Rover Claw MT Atlanders. These things, they are beefy. I like them. And then we put these little guys on the back, which we'll probably never use. That's for the dolly that goes underneath an axle. And then on the front, we got Firestone Transforce. Those are super good high-end tires. I like good steer tires. If you blow a rear on a dually, you got one still supporting you, so you're probably all right. But you blow a steer tire, and you're going for a ride. And these Transforces have had good luck with those things, and they wear like frickin' iron. They'll probably rot off this thing because we don't put a ton of miles on it before we wear them out. But yeah, I might have to get a set of these for old Cliffy here. So let's drain some fuel. Get to work, huh, Wes? Oh, look at that scenic backdrop, old Dirt Reynolds. Maybe we should put that on the back of this thing. Go across the country. This could be like, I don't know, the truck in Smokey and the Bandit, and that can be the Bandit, obviously. The guy that helped me find this thing actually referred to that as the Great Value Bandit. That's the first time I heard it. You know, like the Dollar General Lee, the Great Value Bandit. Kind of like it. Old Dirt Reynolds. It's got all the nicknames. Oh yeah, there's a park brake right there. There's not going to be more than 5 gallons of gas in there, is there? Nah, it would have leaked out. Like I said, we turned that ball valve off last night, so we shouldn't have lost any. So you're welcome, Greta. I bet that rag will burn. Get our bucket a little bit closer so you don't have some more splish splash action. Oh, I like it. They offset the drain plug so it doesn't hit the drive shaft. Freaking brilliant.
Drink beer at a party. Brilliant.
After we knock all this dirt into the bucket. What a goof. Come on now. It looks like it's a brass plug, so it shouldn't be rusty. Alright, water should be on the bottom, right? Oh, that's nice clean gas. I can get behind that. There's a little bit of rust and dirt on the end of the plug though. We'll go clean that out. And there ain't nothing better for cleaning that plug out than a Mortske repair screwdriver. Oh yeah, look at it getting in there real nice and deep like. Oh yeah. Should put a petcock in here. And then it'll be easy to siphon gas. Plus if we get water in there, we can drain the water out. God, I'm brilliant. I should probably go get another bucket ready. Well, that drains out. Let's get all this old rubber out of here. Oh man, that stuff is just, that is the worst hose I've dealt with in a long time. It is just completely delaminated. Is that what it's called? Probably takes like a half gallon of fuel just to fill this freaking line from front to back.
I'm gonna give you a fuel line that will hold an extra gallon of gas.
Get this little splice out of here. You think it's gonna be an actual barb splice or it's gonna be a freaking pipe thread union fitting? I'm saying it's some pipe thread janky fitting that shouldn't be here. What's it gonna be? Oh man, this line just comes apart in your hands. Man, it's been a while since we got gas in our mouth. Oh! Well, it is a barbed fitting, but I think it's, I don't know what they had, a 1/2-inch fuel line on here or what this is. That barb is definitely bigger than 3/8. There she is. Maybe that is 3/8, I don't know. At least it's not an NPT fitting. Now we just gotta fish the rest of that hose out of there. All right, got that old rubber fuel hose out of there. Look at this. Found some 3/8 fuel line. We gotta get that straightened out. We're gonna try the old drill a hole in a board trick, eh, Duff? Mojo's making a bunch of noise over there, whacking on distributors. So, and then also the return line is 5/16, and that is rubber as well. So we're gonna get rid of that. The entire length. Awesome. Duff can't even stand it anymore, he's so upset. So I'm gonna drill a hole in a 2x4 lengthwise, try to fish this through. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not sold on that method. I think I could have got it just straight by hand. But anyway, let's get this slid in there. And then we'll do the same thing. I got the copper nickel coated 5/16 stuff, so it's really gonna clash. I think we'll start at the back and work our way forward. Alrighty, we got her pretty much routed up front here. We're gonna grab the old Cyclops. Sticking out right here. We gotta hook up the fuel pump right there, so that'll be a nice easy chunk of line. And there's no pressure on this, so usually you should put a little barb at the end. I should have done that before I put it up there, but it ain't gonna slide off since we don't have a pusher pump back here. And of course, I should have used the longer chunk of line because we come to right here and we got to go there, so we're about I don't know, 3 feet short. But I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna put an inline, like a clear fuel filter right here. And then we'll put another chunk of steel line and then another chunk of hose back there. So it won't be too bad. But I had this thing slid in there. I wasn't gonna coil it back up and put it away and crack open a fresh one, which is what I should have done in the first place, but story of my life. All right, let's put a filter on here. We're gonna do one of those little clear inline ones. I don't know if I showed it to you guys. These plastic ones. It's not by a bunch of heat. The exhaust's over on that side. It's not in the engine bay. Easy to get at, crawl underneath. I like these clear ones because they're visible. And like I said, there's no pressure on it, so it should be just fine. Yeah, this is like a 1/2 inch barb fitting coming out here, so I'm gonna see if I can't get that removed and we can't put something a little bit better in there. Let's see what we got. Should just be pipe thread going in there. I just hate when people, I understand if you're in a pinch, but come on, use the right stuff. All right, got our fuel line ran. We got a couple little short chunks of rubber going to our fuel filter. We get going back to steel. Little chunk of rubber going there. We got ourselves a 3/8 elbow and a 1/2 inch reducer bushing. And now I snipped off this return line. We're gonna do the same thing. You gotta go underneath in the spare tire compartment. We'll put a new chunk of rubber in there, and then we'll do the same thing, running 5/16 steel up to the engine bay. I gotta let it down and figure out how they routed that. It goes up along the firewall, and then it ends up back down here on the fuel pump anyway, so I don't know why they got it routed like that, but we'll check just to make sure they don't have it routed that way for a reason. And then we got to put our 3/8 chunk of hose on the end here going to the feed. We're gonna do that quick before I hook it up with the wrong one, because that would be no bueno. All right, this is a new one to me. So this is that return line that I thought I unhooked. It's most definitely unhooked. A zip tie to cut there. Snip that guy. Remember how I said it came up along the firewall? Well, that's the other side of it. Oh. Pull that up here. But the other thing is, there's a T right here, bolted to the valve cover. I don't know if that's a production piece or not. Then it comes to a steel line, to this rubber line, and into the carburetor. So that's the feed. What the heck is going on here? I'm at a loss. I don't know what's going on. So this line comes out of the top of the tank, which it could be pulling from the top of the tank, but it's only 5/8. And the other one was 3/4. So they got the, what is going on here? So this, I'm still lost. So the line we pulled up there is feed to the pump. Oh yeah, and this would just be our pressure hose up to the carburetor. And then this must be, they made it into some type of return. Okay. So we'll just bring steel up to the firewall, then we'll bring rubber up to here, and then our this is our feed from the fuel pump. And then we're gonna put a new rubber hose in here and get rid of this big old ugly fuel filter. I've never seen a T like this. Is that factory big block Ford 385 series stuff? Because it looks like there's a tab on the valve cover for it. Huh. Weird. Usually there's just 3 lines coming off the fuel pump, but there's only 2, so I'm stumped. New to me. Weird things that Ford does. All right, I'm gonna keep pulling some rubber stuff off and putting some steel on. Maybe we should take that fitting off down there and see if we can put a steel line coming up here. Would that be a good idea? Nah, because it just tees in there. Why do we need a return? Why don't we just abandon the return? Maybe we'll try that. Just make a steel line coming off the pump, go up to here, hook it up with the carburetor, and we'll abandon the return, and then it'll just be a vent. No. I guess when it's hard starting because it vapor locks because we don't have a return, we'll know. Worth a shot. And plus, that'll get rid of a bunch of rubber. Worst case scenario, we just got to make a new steel line coming up to that. All right, that bracket looks factory. It is factory from Ford. It's got it on both valve covers. I don't know what it was for, but it was not meant for this T. This is just a regular T. I don't know how this thing even ran. It should have just been pumping fuel right back to the tank, because it's going to take the path of least resistance, which, depending on what kind of restriction is on that return, then it's just a jumbled up mess of fittings. So we'll put those in our stash. And I think, yeah, like I said, we're just going to run a steel line up off the pump, and with a small amount of rubber as we can, going into the old edelbrock, and yeah, everything should be good, I think. Maybe. I guess we will find out if I regret my decision, and we have to figure out this conglomeration later, but I don't know why it would. Makes no sense. Maybe you know more about what was going on here than me. It wouldn't take much. Talk about a pain. Flared an end on it's a 5/16 line. 3/8 all the way up here, but you gotta have a 5/16 fitting, whatever. You know what I'm saying. Steel line. I had Mojo up top on the ladder holding it, and I had to take the oil filter off just to get that thing started and snuck up there. So, of course, I poked a hole in the oil filter, so I guess now would be a good time to change oil too, huh? I'm sure it hasn't had it in a while. So, I'm gonna do that. And then we're going to go up top and we're going to finish that fuel line. Mojo is baffled too on how this would work. We both agree it would just go back to tank. And you shouldn't be getting any fuel to the carburetor. The old 460 is really going to bark now. I took the restrictor plate out.
That's really loud.
Yeah, thanks. Took the restrictor plate off, give the Red Dragon a little more juice. But let's keep that on the down low. It's not exactly street legal.
All right, we got her topped off with some Havoline, about 7 quarts. This thing's got some capacity. Got our fuel line run up here, and then we got a little chunk of rubber going from here, and I had one of these adapters that I forgot to tighten laying around. Usually they just got a barb fitting that comes out here, and it's really ugly, and the hose hits the air cleaner sometimes. So I like these adapters that you can get from edelbrock and several other sources. So it sneaks the line down underneath, and then you don't have a big bend on it, because it's not very often that your fuel line is just coming in right here off the fuel pump. So that's on there. We're going to tighten that up. Got to go underneath, tighten that line up, and yeah, we're getting pretty close to putting fuel back in it. We got the schlong stuffed in the old bungholio up.
I need TV for my bunghole.
Here, and look at this. Hopefully we can show it. It looks like brand new in there. Maybe. Come on. Sometimes the schlong just needs a little coaxing. You just gotta give her a little pep talk. For cheese and rice, sometimes I think this thing gets drunk and just, well, that's what the inside of that tank looks like. Brand new. Bare steel. No, not that kind of bare. Oh yeah. I can see it really well. Can you guys? Yeah, that's the corner of the tank. There's the bung for the pickup that we're using right there. You always want to wipe off your schlong before you put it away when it's been in some nasty spots. So I'm gonna put the brass plug back in there, clean it all up, wire wheeled it, because that's why I like brass fittings. They don't get all rusty and ugly, and they always come out. We're gonna put that plug back in the old bung hole, yo, because you don't want that seeping on you. You don't want a seepy bung hole. And we're gonna dump our petrol back in there. This stuff looks like brand new-ish. Okay, half of it evaporated, but whatever. Uh-oh, must be combining season. Somebody's getting a brand new 8250. Just kidding, it's got a number on it. Probably a custom combiner. Is it really time to harvest wheat already? Yeah, probably not. All right, I'm gonna put that plug in. We're gonna put some fuel in this thing. Let's check the diffie while we got her up in the air. Seeing how this pinion seal was leaking, we probably better check that because I don't have a spare diff laying around and I'm not taking it out of that one. Swedish nut lathe. Crack the diffie open. Well, it ain't running out. I'll give her a couple pumps at 80-90. There we go. Well, you don't want a seepy rear end. Far too often, the cause of a seepy rear end, aka an axle seal or pinion seal, is this vent is plugged. So let's take that apart, see what we got to do there. Oh yeah, she's plugged right up. Let's go clean that up. Stuff like this, you know, brake bleeders, rear end breathers, I don't know. Let's just take and run a drill bit through it. That's how I like to do it. To each their own. Maybe you got a better way to clean these up, but drill bits, that's the ticket for me. Sometimes you don't even need the drill, you just run her by hand. Ew, that's some butt mud in there. Yeah, that is no bueno. There we go. Blow some air through that. Maybe we'll put a little piece of rubber hose on the end and then a breather tube on it. Speaking of that, we got our breather tube selection right here, I think. Maybe, I don't know. Which drawer? There we go. Are the axle breathers at? Man, is that the right thread? No way. That's probably what should have been on this thing. It's a little bit short. Story of my life. I'm gonna go see if this will thread in. This thing did have a split washer on it, which you know how much I love those. So I think this will actually work. Now plugged up. Tastes terrible. Perfect. Guess we cleaned that up for nothing. Other than to show you fine folks how to clean up a rear axle bleeder. Bleeder? I can't talk today. God dang it. Perfecto. Oh, this thing's gonna be ready to transfer all the 460 horse torque to the ground now. Give it all the power. Perfect.
Perfect.
Say perfect.
Perfect.
Say perfect.
Perfect.
Say perfect.
Perfect.
Say perfect.
Just put 40 pounds of air pressure in all the tires, except for the inside dual on this side. So let me show you why I didn't do that. So this driver's side's got the alcoa. Here's their valve stem right there, easy to get at, but the inside dual valve stem is... Anyway, it's back there, and I can't fit my fingers through there to even take the valve stem cap off, much less sneak the hose through and hook it up, so you'd have to pull the wheel off. So we're gonna just give her the old thumb test. I think she's good. Everything else was pretty good. I think that tire had like 23 in it. Otherwise, all the rest were like 35 to 40 already. So we should be good. And like I said, I'd like to put newer matching tires on this anyway, because they're a little weather checked. These inside ones ain't bad because they don't see as much daylight. But the outside ones, I mean, some people would run them. You know me, weird about tires. I don't like being on the side of the road with a loaded truck fixing a tire in traffic because nobody's gonna help you. Not gonna have the right tools, not gonna have a jack to lift it. Hopefully whatever you got on the back runs so you can just limp to town. Came under here to see if we had any fuel in the filter, and we don't. And then I was like, oh yeah, I could turn the valve on. Good thing we didn't try starting it. Come on, baby. I can hear it glugging. Do your thing. Oh, there we go. Now we get to check for leaks. Really the only, ouch, son of a biscuit, that hurts the old noggin. Really the only spot I'm worried about is up here at the fuel pump. What is leaking back? Oh, that's power steering. And maybe a little coolant from when I had to sneak the top hose off. Only spot I'm worried about is that flare that I did on that steel line, but I'm guessing we'll be fine. Give her a tickle the old hot sauce, see if she lights off. Put a little dabble of hot sauce and the old 500 edelbrock. We'll see if she'll run on her own. See no reason why it won't. Hook up our fixer auto battery cables here. They could use a little, well, that's a body ground going to there. That's kind of interesting. And then there's a spare ground coming off the accessory bracket. That's a side post. And then a blue battery cable going to the solenoid. It's had a lot of jumper cables hooked on it over the years. Hopefully it was jump starting other things, not jump starting itself. Here we go. She's in park. Slingshot engage. Come on, pick up some fuel. Oil pressure's creeping up. Yeah, we got some work to do on the fuel gauge. I don't know if it's a wire or what. Ooh, we didn't even look in the glove box. Oh, registration. We should laminate that. I think it's pretty safe to say it's picking up fuel, so we did an all right job with our fuel plumbing. Now we just got to check for leaks. I don't know much about these customs, but got the wood grain all over. Pretty schwanky. What's not schwanky is that headliner. Not factory. She needs to go. Hopefully there's no mices living in there. What's in the ashtray? Gum wrappers, no darts. Oh yeah, we gotta check to see if the SIG lighter works. Optimus Prime. Ooh, somebody got a good birthday gift. No way. The owner's manual. From 1978. After 90 days, squeaks, rattles, timing, carb adjustments, water leaks, paint work are owner's responsibility. Wow, well done, Ford. You get 90 days to enjoy your pickup, and then it squeaks, rattles, timing and carb, water leaks and paint. 90 days? Wow, is that how everybody was back then? It's pretty neat. That was the 75th anniversary, 1903, first year Ford, in case you didn't know. No way! Protecto plate. Morton Buildings bought this thing brand new. Those guys are still in business. Redwood Falls, Minnesota. 510 of 78. Oh, what is that guy's name? J.E. Piddling? That is cool. I love when you find that stuff. Here's the Takancha brake controller documentation. The 78 warranty information. I can't begin to tell you how excited I am that I found that. Awesome. Almost as excited as I am that there's no mouse house in there. A couple cracks in the old dash pad, but she's still very presentable. Remember, we got to fix that. Even though it's pretty much unusable when you got a car on the back. All right, check for leaks. I don't see nothing. We're good to go. Awesome. Per usual, transmission is not even on the dipstick, so we're gonna fill her up with Dexmer because Ford people hate it when you do that. Or maybe not. Granny's topped off, coolant's topped off. I don't know what we're gonna do. Have a celebratory sandwich? Is it ever too early for that? I'll tell you what, she runs rich because my eyes are burning. I think we're about ready to go for a ride, but I gotta go get my ears lowered. I gotta drop off some tires. No, we don't have anybody mounting tires. We gotta go get some petrol too. We are out. How interesting it is that I finally got a race truck, race car hauler, race can jugs. But anyway, I got the cowboy Cadillac filled up with a bunch of old tires we need to get rid of. $3.50 a piece to get rid of them. We get 30 in the back of the old cowboy Cadillac. This is the second load. And Wet Spot Farms is building some demolition derby cars for the big county fair. 100th anniversary this weekend and my 20th anniversary school reunion. So we're gonna bring them a banner. Get your banners, get your koozies, everything at mortske.com. Look at those banners. Oh yeah, we don't have koozies. We're working on it though. Those last ones sold way too fast. I guess Duff's coming with, oh, we got air fresheners too, and keychains. We don't have a keychain in there. The old cowboy Cadillac. Putting in work. We even got the King out yesterday. Stretched its legs a bit. We might have too many cars. If there is such a thing. Are you gonna be my chauffeur? Look at those muddy paws all over my nice seat. In the back, come on. Oh, all over Wet Spot's new poster. There you go. You know what seat you sit in usually. This thing's so good. Overdrive, airbags, air compressor, fuel injection, digital gauges, 1,643 miles on this thing. Bluetooth radio. Yeah, built to be driven. What you think, Duff? Yeah, he likes it. Then again, he would ride in any mouse-infested crap box that we put him in. Got a few kinks to work out in this. We got to put the other tank in it, get the crossover switch wired up, get the fuel gauge working, got a couple rattles, tie up the fuel or the ECU, fix a couple wires, you know, the usual stuff when you got a fresh build. You got to put the matching seat in the back, but for now nobody's ridden back there other than Duff, and he's totally content with the old cowboy Cadillac's original seat. I like the exhaust on this thing way more than I should admit. It's kind of loud, but only when you get on it. Which we never really get on it, do we, Duff? He's like, no comment. Cannot attest to that. All right, let's go run some errands. Hoofda, I don't need to go to the gym. Them big ol' 235/85 16s and 20-inch pickup tires, they're tough to throw. Hopefully they got room for one more in here. Now to go pay the bill. Hoofda. You missed out on all the fun stuff. All right, we're at the car show here in Delamere. Took a break. These two guys keep harassing me. Said they've never been in a YouTube video before, so we got Reggie here. And we're gonna take a look, see what all's here.
We should have an old 1985 pickup, and my grandpa wrecked it from pulling train cars a lot.
Your grandpa was pulling train cars with this 85 Chevy pickup?
Ford.
Oh, it's a Ford. Well, that's why it's wrecked, because it's a Ford. Ladle's got his 55 Chevy Gasser here. Mr. Clean's got his Roadrunner. Here's the old Riv. It lives again. Oh man, she's looking a little worse for wear. Pretty sure it had hubcaps on it when we parked it. Oh, missing a lug nut and a wheel stud. What a gem. Oh man, that thing's got some mate pops on her. These tires are gonna let loose at any given time. Oofta. Somebody needs to find us a barn find 68 or 9 Charger, right? Everybody needs one of those. Eldo convertible. 69 TA, first year. I dig those reproduction big rallies.
But anyway, yeah.
So is the yellow one in okay shape now? Or?
It's in great shape. It's
58, 2-door hardtop.
I did a resto on it.
Yeah, he did a
I love the interiors in these things.
Some stuff on the motor.
Nice. Even with the white letters out, you can't go wrong with the old 5-spokes. '60 CAD Coupe de Ville. Definitely not the stock seats. Cool car though.
Welcome again, all newcomers, here to the 4th annual car show at Schoolhouse in Delaware.
How's it doing?
Free rides.
Be sure to register your vehicles if you haven't already. Straight west of the schoolhouse, right in the middle of the street, Main Street. Big green sign, can't miss it.
Look at that smile. We got a couple gold ones out back here. Chevelle. Looks like a little Model T stuck on some type of chassis. Mustang too, Pinto front end. Cute little car. Oh man, look at that guy showing off the back of his stabbing cabin up there. Looks like a good time. Got the Corvette and Camaro late model snobs back here. Old chin strap. Oh, he's proud of his Econo line. Ruby! Another Charger. Dang it, we need one of those. Or a first gen Camaro, 69 preferably. Next day, we made her back from the old Della Manure car show. I don't know how many cars they had. They must have had over 100, which is pretty good because Delamere's probably a town of 23 people. But anyway, yeah, Reggie works good. Chin had his vehicle there. Saw a bunch of local buddies there. West Fargo had their car show, cruise night, yada, 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 yada. But there's a lot of Fargo people there, so I think... Anyway, I'll leave it at that. Next Thursday is the Castleton, North Dakota car show, so we're going to try to make it to that. No guarantees, so if you're in the Castleton, North Dakota area. The Swanks car cruise Thursday night, I think they all start at like 5 o'clock. Somebody said the Fargo one, they had like 700 spots, and it filled up in like 20 minutes. They were all filled up. It's absolutely insane. I don't enjoy the whole rat race, but Castleton's usually good, really good show. I like these weeknight shows because then you don't have to dedicate a whole Saturday or Sunday or whatever. Blast up there, do the show thing, blast back. Let's show you what old Mojo has been working on behind the scenes. So we modified our small block Chevy mount, drilled a couple holes in there, pulled a piece of flat plate to mount the old rocket in here. We made a primer to prime the oil pump. We put a pressure gauge on there, we got oil pressure, we had some spark plug wires laying around. The weights were missing on the distributor, and the centrifugal advance was locked up. So it's the same weights as a small block Chevy. So we took a small block Chevy apart, stole the weights off of that. Where's our priming tool? We had to make a priming tool because you couldn't take the distributor apart and then get it back together. So it's, yeah, I know, it's like a 1/2 inch shaft. And then it's got a D shape to it. So what we did was we just drilled and tapped this and then ran a 1/4 inch bolt in there to function as part of the D. And so now we got ourselves a primer shaft for an Oldsmobile. He's also working on a W1 carburetor, Carter carburetor for my cousin's 48 Chevy Fleetline. Yeah? Yeah? Oh, and Toe Jam, TJ, a faithful viewer and one of our original subscribers to the Mortske Repair membership. Got us some Wibby. There was more than that, but some may have been consumed at the car show last night. Wow, and a bunch of it's still in the cooler. And Reggie. But anyway, we got this thing all primed up. We got good oil pressure. We had the valve covers off. It looks great in there. We got to put a carburetor on it. We put a new set of points, condenser, cap rotor. We left the plugs in it. We made this little mount for the front. So this thing's hopefully getting ready to fire up. This one is kind of a disappointment. So the previous owner did say it was sleeved. So that cylinder, driver's side, so that's number 3 is sleeved. I think that's the only one. He thought maybe a couple of them were. Cylinders all look pretty good except for this guy right here. And then the cam, sure enough, I don't know if you guys can read it, is an Engel 134, but which lobe is it? Oh my gosh, can't find it. This one right here is pretty chewy. Oh, this guy, really chewy, and that's not from sitting. That was the way it was when it was running, so I think that's why it was all torn apart. And unfortunately, that cam was one of the big reasons we bought that thing. There's another engine that was all torn apart that we could use the cam, or that we could use the cam auto, but it didn't come with a cam. So we need a cam for that thing, and we might need to either bore it or clean up that cylinder. So look at these pistons. These are the pistons that were in it. I wonder if I can show you this. You can see it down in there. John's. These are John's pistons. This one has a little bit of damage. It looks like it's been filed down. So I don't know if somebody did that installing it or what happened. Pistons all look good. And we took the, what you call it, the piston rings off of all of them. They were stuck on a couple of cylinders. All those cleaned up pretty good. Here's another unfortunate thing. The main caps are all numbered. Main cap number 2 was broken. So that's no good. And all of the the crank bearings are absolutely wiped out. So we need a cap, which we got on the other engine, but then you put a main cap on it and you should line bore it. So then we need a cam. We need to line bore it. If we're going that far, we should probably bore that one hole out and put a sleeve in it. I mean, we're getting pretty deep into this, you know, supposedly running engine, but I think what was happened was that cam started to deteriorate. It got in the crank bearings. It wiped them all out. I wonder where Mojo shut the crankshaft. He took that out while I was at the show. We dingle ball hole into cylinders. Oh yeah, here's the crank. I can definitely turn the crank, I mean, but it needs to be turned, so we're gonna have to get to the machine shop. Somewhere on here, it is marked 1010, if I can find it. Oh yeah, right there. Come on over here. So right there, rods are 10, mains are 10. First time I've ever seen a crank marked like that. But the main bearings are just wiped out. So you could probably turn that 20, 30, maybe even 40. So we need a machine shop. We need a line board. We probably should put a sleeve in that one cylinder. We need the crank turned, but we also have that other crank, so that isn't such a big deal. We still need a cam. We should put piston rings in it. So unfortunately, I think this engine's gonna get just set aside. Maybe someday we'll do it. I'd love to have this thing. That's the other thing we could do, is we could bore out that block to 3/16 over, like the gentleman said, and we still gotta find a camshaft, which I'm sure you can probably buy new ones, but either way, we're gonna have to go to a machine shop. And then we could use that crank, all that stuff, put that one together, because then that one's not sleeved, all that good stuff. And then we gotta find rings for these John's pistons, because if we're that far into it, we're not gonna put some old rings back into it. So that is unfortunate. My first race car engine, he said that wasn't a gasser in, I forget where. He bought it in 1962, so this thing's been sitting around for a long time. It was in a 40 Ford gasser, allegedly. Hopefully this one's a good one, otherwise the old rocket bundle was kind of a bust. We did get some cool parts, but I mean, what good are those pistons? They're used. They're only gonna work for a 3/16 oversize, 303, 324, whatever. So yeah, you can't win them all. I'm not upset out of the deal. I got a bunch of other cool stuff. But yeah, a rocket would be cool someday. And like I said, we got this engine sitting here, so pretty much all we gotta do is bore this one out. So if you have or know of an old hot rod camshaft for a 303, 324 Oldsmobile, let me know. Hit us up, mortskerepair@gmail.com. Otherwise, I'm sure, like I said, we can buy new ones, or we can find an original one and have it ground. Is that even a thing anymore? Does anybody grind camshafts, or is that a lost art, like a lot of that stuff? Yeah, because we got those cool heads with those adjustable rockers and all that stuff. But yeah, I was really hoping to have a rocket, but we still got that stock one back there, which should be plenty good. We could put those heads on it, but without a cam, it's kind of pointless. Anyway, Chin says the video is getting too long, so we're gonna take Clifford the big red dog here, take her for a drive, and hopefully wrap this thing and carry on with our lives. There goes the fertilizer bandit, the Mopar madman himself. Off to a great start this morning. It was idling high, and so I kicked it down. Now it won't idle. Long story short, we got to check to see if we're getting fuel, and if we are, then we're just going to throw one of these other carburetors on it, and then we'll go through this one, and we'll put it on that old rocket for another video. And the rear main seal is real wet, and then I don't know what this is. Transmission, real wet. And we got to pull that headliner out of there, so let's figure out the carb issue first. That seems to be running a little bit better, not great. We definitely don't have an accelerator pump, so she's gonna need a carb kit at a minimum. So let's get this headliner out here and get on the road. What is holding you up? Well, let's get rid of the toothbrush. Oh yeah, much better. This is all just that, I don't know, flat board. I suppose you have to contour it a little bit back there. A couple screws holding it in place. One thing I don't like is, now we got all this chicken chaser wiring exposed, but it really wouldn't be that bad to replace. Put that board up there, and you probably wouldn't even have to cover it, but you could cover it with some red material. Anyway, it's not dripping down on our face. Did notice there's a little bit of rot in here, but yeah, it's got a nice roomy back seat. This door panel's busted up. Like I said, crew cab only stuff. That sucks. Doors shut so nice. All right, set up our Duff cam and go for a rip. You didn't get to ride in this thing yet. You missed out when we drove it in the shop. God, I just mashed my left foot to the floor, thinking there was a clutch. I don't even know what I drove. Oh, I was probably driving Bernie thinking that we had a clutch in here. Hate when that happens. It runs good, it just don't idle good. I wonder what this thing's like turning around. Pretty long wheelbase. Take it for a test lap around the yard first. Whew. Nice little breeze this morning. Feels good. It was hot at that car show last night. Had to find some shade. Of course, I forgot my nice sombrero. Yeah, now we got the idle too high. Oh, speedo works. The low fuel economy light, had to look it up. According to the internet, it was a 75 only option. So maybe it's got a 75 dash in here. But anyway, it's hooked up to a vacuum switch. And so when you mashed the throttle and it saw that there was zero vacuum, the light lit up. So I don't know if it's hooked up anymore. I don't know if it was factory in this 78 or what. Although long wheelbases are hard to turn around, they ride so much nicer. Like long bed crew cab pickups ride so much better than a short bed regular cab. I don't think we're gonna be whipping any donuts in this thing. Maybe we will. 460 life. Man, just think if we put a good Holly carburetor on this thing. Or maybe even a quadrabog. Just to let the Ford folks know just how much we love them. Put a GM carburetor. That is a giant spider in front of your windshield, though. You're welcome for no jump scares this week, boys and girls. They're second. Is that hood latched? Looks like it's latched. Come on. 40 mile an hour, shift into third now. We're gonna have two Ram trucks with bad transmissions. Seems like it's acting up with the old 72 GMC. Maybe that is third. So we're doing 55. This thing's probably got like 456s in it. It seems like she's barking pretty good at 55. Oh yeah, that was second. Probably 456s. I guess it's hard to say without a tack. It does run pretty dang smooth. Not gonna lie. Goes on the road nice. Just checking into some brake calipers and brake hoses. All that stuff seems pretty affordable. Radiator hoses. Give her a tune-up, throw a carb on. This thing, good cleaning. This thing wouldn't be that bad. Tires are gonna be the big thing. 6 tires at $200 a cracks, $1,200. I wish it had some like 410 gears, because like I said, 55 is about cruising speed. And we can, there's 60. Really wish it had a tack, because it seems like we were hauling. Oh yeah, I backed it up. sneak the oil pan off, but it needs a rear main seal. Bad. But it is for sale. You know what it needs. Hit us up, mortskerepair@gmail.com. Price and availability, as always, listed in the video description down here. There's 65. It ain't so bad. Temp gauge works. All kinds of oil pressure. Fuel gauge needs work. Radio does work. Yeah. What do you think, though? Keeping it, selling it? I don't know. There's 65. It goes down the road nice. Overdrive or some different gears would be good. I guess if you're fixing that rear main seal, it'd be a good time to put an overdrive behind it. I have no idea what overdrive Ford even makes that would go behind a 460, but I'm sure there is one. Or you can always put an adapter and put a 700 R4 behind it. Or a 4L80E. You can adapt those things to anything. Go great with a water jet carburetor. Well, it's ditch haying season. Somebody's got this ditch all put up, and this one. It's pretty green yet. They must have just knocked her down yesterday. Gotta let her dry before they nail it. It's the big county fair this weekend, so everybody's, you know, making the yards look nice. Or maybe not. What's that vibration back there? Is that your seatbelt? No. Is it the seat? No. I don't know what it is, but there's like some trim rattling in it. It's very annoying. There's the ditch mowing tractor right there. Oh, it's cabless. It's even got the umbrella canopy thinger. Looks like an old Oliver diesel. Don't ask me what model number Oliver it is. All I know is the 88s and the Super 88. Brakes seem to work pretty good. Oh yeah, it needs a pinion seal, that's right. Man, for not doing a tune-up or anything on it, that carburetor might come out of it. Plus it's an edelbrock. He's super easy to work on. Kits are, you know, 20, 30 bucks. Clean it up. Like I said, it needs a... Maybe it's an accelerator pump. Well, kickdown's working. Seems like the accelerator pump came back to life, but that'll probably be short-lived. Duff over there, head hanging out the wing window, just living its best life. What we really should be working on is that rollback. Man, that thing is going to be handy. I just need to go pull the other head off and get that all prepped and ready to go. Got all the parts in there, just need to get the head off, touch that one up, throw it all back together. I think it'll be good. Also, needs about $1,500 worth of tires, but that hydraulic rollback gonna be real nice.
Really nice.
Front end seems nice and tight. Oh yeah, the power steering sector, gotta fix the leak in that. I think I looked in a seal kit for that sector is like $16 on Rock Auto. A whole new sector is like $300, so I think I would risk putting the seals in it before sending it off and getting it rebuilt. Fix the fuel gauge because I'm betting this thing is not good on fuel, even with the fuel economy. Let's mash it, see if that light works. Light definitely does not work. When in theory, that light should come on when there's no vacuum, so when you turn the key on, kind of like a brake light switch, that light should come on until the engine starts and it pulls a vacuum. So yeah, I don't think that light's wired up. Or there's no switch or whatever. The light don't work. How disappointing. Yeah, I gotta work on the yellow idle. And that golden rattle is killing me. Duff, you wanna ride around back there and put your nose on it? Press. You don't need thumbs. hate rattles and leaks. I hate a lot of things. Not a big fan of red vehicles, but good for the big red dog here. Even though it ain't a dog, I'm pretty sure if we had a big enough gravel runway airstrip, we could do donuts. Definitely not gonna do a burnout. Only Finnegan can get ramp trucks to do burnouts. It helps when you put a supercharger on a small block or have a compound turbo at 5.9. You know, this thing does need overdrive, and it's got a leak on the engine. It needs a carburetor. It'd be a great time to throw a Cummins in it. Maybe a 6-liter LS or Ford. Nah, we'd never get it done. That's what we need to do, is stop dragging junk like this home. Work on some project stuff. I don't know, Duff, we might have to put an insane price on this thing, because this thing is way too good. 60 mile an hour, just sails down the road. It's even got seatbelts that look like they might function. All the room for activities in the back. The winch works. Patch some floors in the storage compartments. We can put all our sandwiches and tools and sleeping bags and whatever else in there. Think of the options.
So much aerobics in here. So many activities.
Tow mirrors, chicken chasers, reverse mullet on the front. Put some tint in here, get the AC working. We can live in this thing. It'd be like living in a van down by the river.
When you're living in a van down by the river.
Maybe put a factory style seat cover on it, maybe some new carpet. Oh, do the headliner. There's plenty of options to bring this thing back for another video. Oh yeah, get all the lights working. Who is here with the OBS ranched out Suburban? What a crap box. Illinois. Wes, is that you? What do you think, Duff? I think he likes it. Yeah? I don't know. We'll see. It is pretty good for most of this stuff, but then again, it kind of ran when we bought it. So there you have it. We kind of got this 78 Ford crew cab ramp truck going, but it kind of ran before. Fixed a few things. Needs a few more things. Like I said, if you want to own this thing, price and availability in the video description. Hit us up, mortskerepair@gmail.com. Check out the sweet merch at mortske.com. We're working on caps, we're working on getting more koozies, we're working on some new shirt designs. We got decals, we got air fresheners, we got screwdrivers. What is that? Walls? I don't know, oversized load. So thank you very much for watching. We appreciate every single one of you. Remember, it doesn't matter how you get it done, as long as you're having fun. Ramp trucks, crew cabs, always fun. Fords? Sometimes. All right, on to the next one. What are we gonna work on next, Duff? Where do you get those muddy paws? You're just gonna hide in the shade. It is getting warmish out already. I must have just slammed it in whatever gear I could reach.